got a package that's a little bit smaller than normal. Ay. No. Alright, so we got a package here from BRRogers. Brian is known for his meticulous thread on the Hero, Luke's Return of the Jedi Hero saber. You have to go check it out if you haven't seen it. I'll link it in the description below. The detailed information he has in there it's the most detailed thread I've ever seen on the RPF. It's got a lot of reference photos, so you gotta check it out. Alright, so there's a bunch of notes that he's included with these. He has his replica and then the vintage. So here's the vintage stock. Give me a little bag in there to get the moisture out. And this one is True Blue. So these are the vintage ones. These are supposedly thinner. These are supposedly thinner than his replica ones, so if you're putting it into a control box, especially the Star Killer, you might have to pad the back of it with some cardstock. Oh, I see what he means. Oh my god, it's so minute. It's so barely anything. Wow, man, Brian. So there is some instructions he's given me with these, like how to buff them and then seal it with some wax. I really like the vintage look. I really like that a lot. Wow. Let me look at my control box and see if I can get this to work. Alright, so I have my Star Killer Hero box here, and I got some electronics in there that Brian gave me the list. Brian gave me the parts list, then the diagram how to wire it up to get them to blink like in the deleted scene. Here's his vintage board. I have this Star Killer box spaced for a vector board. This is a vector board here that was given to me as a gift. So again, really appreciate the gift from the RPF member who sent it to me. So I have it spaced for the vector board. If you look at the vector board compared to Brian's, you can see the color is much different. Let's see, this is the vintage board. Oh boy, it fits. It fits fine. That fits fine. The vintage board fits fine for. And now this is his True Blue board. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get it. True Blue's a little bit fatter. Now, I'm gonna break it. Now, if you bought the True Blue board, you simply install this. You space it like you normally space it with everything else. If I didn't have these rails glued on there already, I'd put my card in there and glue the rails on and it would slide fine. But because the vector board is just a little bit thinner than the True Blue board, it won't slide. That's why it lets the vintage board, his replica vintage board, fit in there. As you can see, I'm really screwing this up. So, if you have a Star Killer Hero already assembled with a Sloth Furnace card, you can install Brian's True Blue card with ease. They fit. If you have a Star Killer Hero with a Sloth Furnace card, and you want to use Brian's vintage card, You could easily put a piece of Scotch tape underneath the vintage card to give it just a little bit of extra bite so it doesn't fall out when you handle the hilt. That pretty much sums it up. You're going to see me struggling on how to explain it, but I don't know what I was thinking. So let's go back to the video. He did mention that the True Blue, the thicker card, has a hard time fitting into the Nick's replica. So he suggests sanding the edge very, very softly. Maybe put some masking tape there so you don't go too far in. And just sand it very lightly to free it up. Sand the bottom and free it up. But again, I would buff it with some Brasso and then cover it with the paste wax, like this kind right here, to seal it and stop it from further anodizing. And that's pretty much it. If you haven't assembled your control box yet, then it's really easy. Just sit it in there, get it to slide, and glue your rails on. Give it just a little bit of space, and you're good to go. So the hallmark of these cards is they're made on vintage cardstock, and because he found the blue cardstock like the original, you can get it to change colors in different lighting. You can get it to turn blue, green, the color from bright blue to right here in the dark. You can get it almost a green. So with the right lighting, you get it to make it look blue. I just had a green. Blue, green, and black. That explains the different colors in the reference photos we have. He also says it's the only card made on original blue fiber. So the vintage blue is where it's at. You can actually see the green on the edge there. One thing that he wants to make very apparent too is the True Blue cards will be included in the Mom Hero run and the 7 Chambers run. So you don't have to purchase a True Blue if you're going to jump on that run. The vintage boards, he's only had X amount of made, so he claims his source has a little bit of material left if they have to do another run, but I wouldn't miss out on this now. I'd grab it. They're cheap enough. He's got a few of them he's keeping for himself if they do a solid static hero run, which I'm praying for. That's what I want. I want 2 of them, one for the hero, one for the Yuma. So nudge, Ryan. So those would be included in the static hero run for vintage boards. But I am really blown away at the level of detail he's put into something this simple. He's got a huge amount of reference that he's collected on the RPF, and it paid off. Look how beautiful that is. It even matches the Star Killer Gold of Choice perfectly too. But that is Brian's hero cards. But you can grab a link to the RPF in the description below and inquire on trying to purchase one of these. They're very inexpensive, and as you can see, look at that. It's beautiful. So I want to thank Brian very much for sending me these to check out. So I'm totally blown away. Totally blown away. I'm glad the vintage board fits my Star Killer box. Thanks a lot, Brian. I really appreciate it. This is Halowax. Out. No. Stop. We're not done. Brian, now that you discovered the mystery chunk and you're done looking for the mystery chunk, can you take all this extra time you have and find us that damn lever?